All right, welcome back. Holla Family Podcast, back again. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate y'all listening, tuning in. More subscribers, click that button. First off, just want to send a big shout out to our sponsor, Zombie Life. That's ZOMBIELYFE, Zombie Life. Yo, big shout out to Zombie Life. Check their website out, zombielifestyle.com. Great clothes there. Get yourself a beanie, a hoodie, something for the wintertime. Make sure you're staying fresh, all right?
Yeah.
All right, back to the show. We got myself, Phaness. We also got Shameless Logic. How you doing there, bro?
What's going on, fellas? Hey, we back again. Don't forget we have another sponsor, man, Zyla and Stush, if you want some nice caps.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. Zyla and Stush, definitely. All right, yo. So Feast for Thought, yo. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Back again. Glad to be back. Another podcast.
All right, cool. So this week we got something that hopefully a lot of people can relate to. Definitely everybody can relate to this. It's workplace drama at your job, drama at work, something that everybody gets annoyed with. And if you aren't annoyed with it right now, somebody's definitely getting ready to call your phone and start complaining about some bull at work. So we got a number of questions, and we're just gonna get this rolling. So number one, the first thing that we're gonna talk about here is: have you ever lost your job on some bull? Like, you got fired, you got laid off, but it was just some complete BS. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, a reason for it. It wasn't important. And like, you just lost your job on some bullshit. So I'm gonna start off first with Feast, with your story, man, because I know we all got something similar to this.
Yeah, man. I remember getting a pink slip, working for the government. I got 2 pink slips in like the matter of 4 months because like, we got the first pink slip because the governor was like, oh, make cuts, budget cuts. They revoted and we decided to do furlough. So then they gave us our jobs back. And then 2 months later, they gave us pink slips again. And then our union had to fight over again. But like, just in that in between process was crazy. Like, you're trying to find new work and then you don't know what's going on. Like, it's so helpless feeling. Like, it was horrible and there's nothing you can do about it. And, you know what I'm saying? So like, that was the worst time.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, man. It's rough when you lose your job and you got to sit there and think about how you're gonna get a new one or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, man. I got a couple of situations where I got fired. Ain't nothing that I'm proud of. But one time, the first time I ever got fired from a job, I was in high school. It was actually the first job I ever had, and it was messed up because I was bagging groceries at a grocery store. I was a cashier / grocery bagger. Every little kid has this job. You probably like 15, 16 years old, trying to make your little chunk of change, that you could spend on whatever video games you could spend it on. So I'm at work, right? And the boss, the owner of the grocery store, a little mom and pop store, the owner's son was promoted to manager. And this dude used to steal everything under the sun from the store, like, and eat it while he was at work, take it home, whatever, because his pops owned the place. He couldn't get fired. Whatever the case was, how many times he got in trouble, he was still like promoted up to being a manager because he was supposed to take over the business. So I'm sitting there and he asked me to take some bottle returns to the back room and throw them in the dump, but the rest of the garbage bags full of like, 2-liter bottles of stuff that people were returning back for the change. So I'm walking back, I'm like, oh, I had to go through the chips aisle. So I see like, a little package of beef jerky. I'm like, oh, let me put this down so I could, get this later. You know what I mean? Because, I'm on a job, I'm getting out soon. So I was like, all right. Picked it up, put it on the back table in the break room, and I didn't open it because I didn't use it. So I picked it up, I threw the bottles in, and then when I'm done throwing the bottles in the dumpster for the bottle return, I come back and my beef jerky is gone. I'm like, all right, somebody was trying to be a dick and went and snatched them before I even got to do what I was gonna do. So I get up to the front, boss's son is like, yo, come here, let me talk to you. Fires me on the spot, talking about you was about to steal those. I'm like, they're not even open. I was gonna pay for them. Like, nah, you was gonna take those. You know what you was about to do.
Wow.
Fired me on the spot. And the messed up part was my brother and my oldest brother. Both of my brothers worked there before I did, so they knew my family, man. It was great. It was crazy, yo, crazy.
Damn, it made you the shame of the family out there.
Nah, I said fuck them, man. I went up, and that was a mom and pop store, so I said fuck them. I upgraded. I went to Walmart, started working at Walmart.
Yeah, that's a real upgrade.
Join the cow.
At the time, when you 16, like 15, 16, like Walmart gave you 75 cents more, yo.
Man,
Winning, right?
I would appreciate if you said like Costco or something, but this guy said Walmart.
Man, I lived in a small town.
It worked for you. That's all good.
What about you though, man? Any fired, layoff stories?
I got a crazy one. I say I used to work in retail for this home improvement store. All right, I used to work for Lowe's. So what ended up really happening is I was always in good standing. I always mind my business, did my job, got it done, and then but the funny thing about this store is like it was pretty racist in there. So let's just put that in perspective. So being one of the very few black people in there, I had to wash my ass. But you know me, I'm to myself. I do my work. Everything gets done. And I used to work in the paint department, and I knew everything about the paint area. People came and go through there. We went through 2 department leads, and the third person, the final person who came through, was somebody who knew nothing about paint. Like I literally trained this dude to run paint. So what ended up happening is one day I'm handling the forklift, I'm bringing down some paint buckets or whatever, and I get a text from somebody. So I'm in the middle of the aisle. It's nothing serious, so I decided to check it. This dude sees me, and you know he's one of those dudes. He's one of those kiss asses. Like he'll do whatever the manager says or whatever. And the only way he got the position is because you know he's been tossing a lot of salads out there. So
living on his knees.
Yeah, right. So I almost got him some knee pads real quick. So what ended up happening is this dude sees me, right, and like he really gets this boast of like energy to like he feels like he's the man or some shit. And then he goes, yo, if you really gotta be on your phone, just go upstairs, like yelling at me like I'm some kind of kid. And I'm like, is this dude serious right now? He's like, yo, didn't I just tell you get off your phone? And I'm just like, all right, you are not gonna disrespect me like that. So I finished doing my text, right? So I walk over calmly to him. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not some kid that you can talk to in the schoolyard. Like, don't ever disrespect me like that in your life. Don't ever fucking disrespect me in your life. You hear me? If you gotta talk to me like a fucking man. Don't ever disrespect me ever again. So this dude end up saying, right? Next day,
Hey, how you?
next day, like the higher ups, they come up to me and then like they pull me aside. They want to know, so and so said that you came up to him and he felt threatened. And I'm like, yo, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, mind you, this dude is probably like at least 60 pounds over me, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even matter. It's like, yo, I'm talking to you man to man. Like, you disrespected me, I have to disrespect you right back to let you know, yo, this ain't the type of party. So they come to me, oh, he felt threatened. We need to know what exactly happened between you. We need to hear your side. I give him my side, and then like he says his bullshit. I don't know what he said, but it worked. So what ended up happening is the store manager and one of the I think one of the department leads or whatever, like the sectional leads, they called me to the office, and I already knew it was about to go down. So they sat me aside. Like, the thing is, like, they didn't want to fire me, but they fired me because, you know, the higher ups in Lowe's was like, you know what, just get rid of him because of what this guy just said. So because supposedly, quote unquote, that he felt threatened and I cursed, that they had to let me go and all the yada. And like the manager, the store manager, he's like, yo, listen, I know you're a good kid. Like, you felt disrespected, you have to do what you have to do, but inevitably I gotta let you go because they're making me let you go. So it's like on some BS. Like, I didn't even take it that serious because I knew what I did. I felt right about it. So I walked out with my head high or whatever, but that was still some BS. It's like, yo, how you gonna lie just to get me fired? But it doesn't matter now because I'm making way more money than he is right now, so it doesn't even matter. Like, that was back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Right. So and he's probably still working over there, like doing what, $16 an hour.
Yeah, but you know it's crazy because them jobs where you work in like retail, small time, you know when we was kids and stuff like that, like people get fired from those jobs so quick because it's so easy to replace people at a job like that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always somebody coming into Walmart, coming into Lowe's, coming to any grocery store every day like, yo, you're hiring every day, and it don't take that much brain power to do them jobs neither. So it's like you don't need that and like no skills in that. And it's just like, all right, do we need people? Then hire him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is he crazy? Does he got a felony? If not, then hire him. It's mad simple to replace people. So they be giving dudes the boot mad quick.
It's all good, man.
It is what it is,
man.
But, yeah. So let's keep it going though. So this is a little more current. You know, for people that got like, you know, actually every job actually, you know, more current. So like, what to watch out for at work when you know things are about to come like at you full force. You know what I mean? When you feel like you notice this and it's like, yo, they got their eyes on me. I'm about to be in trouble for something, or somebody's about to pull me aside soon and say like, oh, we got to talk to you. So, you know, when do you know that's gonna happen? Feast, yo, we gonna start with you, yo.
First thing I noticed, you know, is like when they delay your reviews, when your reviews get delayed. Oh yeah, they write some stuff. They're writing up a draft on you about.
Now, hold on, we gotta talk before we do his review.
Yeah,
word.
Yeah, you know it's coming. You know the story, but also like subtle things where like they're trying to like they're basically because a lot of times in like corporate America is like they don't like when you're messing up. They'll explain to you how it's done, but not in a way that you're understanding that they're telling me I'm doing it wrong and I need to get better. It's like they're just saying it to say that they said it to you. So like when you get blindsided and you feel like, oh, why am I fired? You know what I'm saying? You think nobody said anything to me. They actually did, but you didn't realize they were saying it to you. So when they do stuff like that.
That's 100% right, yo. That's true, yo. They it's mad subtle. It's like, oh, hey, you know, oh, that's cool, don't worry about it, yo. And it's always like finished off with that, like, don't worry about it, hey, next time, take care of it. And then a week later, it's like, listen, you know, we talked about this. And I was like, yo, you said don't worry about it. Keep an eye for it next time. Like, you made it seem like a small deal.
Yeah, it's so much passive aggression in that environment. It's so hard to navigate through because it's like, people are scared of confrontation. They scared of that situation where somebody goes postal. Everybody's scared of that, so everything's
the real
like
goes wrong.
Yeah, everyone's scared of that. Somebody comes back to the job and starts wilding. So like everything's super passive aggressive. Like they're never gonna tell you. They're never gonna like out you in front of your face or anything like that. It's always gonna be like in the nicest possible way they think of, and it's not really nice because you know it's disingenuous. So
that's definitely real, yo. That's mad accurate, yo. I will say that. Shameless, yo. Anything you got that, to add to that about what to watch out for when the signs that you can notice around work and see that things is gonna get real serious?
Another sign is when you're being avoided, like you feeling like you're being outcast or isolated somehow. For instance, like if you're used to like a regular procedure where people come up to you and they have to tell you certain things, and it starts to diminish a little bit, then you can sense like, okay, there's maybe something wrong. And usually that happens with like coworkers, or more so often with your higher ups, or somebody who supervises you. They start undermining you, so you got to watch out for that. What else could I add to that? What to watch out for? You won't get any more warnings. If you've ever got a warning before, and they tell you, oh, you have these certain amount of warnings, and then out of nowhere, you've gotten 1 or 2 warnings, and all of a sudden, you don't get any warnings anymore, but you know what you did wrong, watch out for that.
That's when it's over. Yeah. That's not even when you need to watch out. That's when it's over.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, that's how you know they're not taking it no more, so you're just out of there. It's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. For mine, I think I'm gonna piggyback off what you said when you said when people are avoiding you. 2 things. Well, number 1 is when somebody sends you an email about something that they definitely could have just walked up to you and said, and it's like 90% of the time they used to do that, but all of a sudden they stopped coming to your desk to talk to you, and all of a sudden everything now is sent to you via email. That's because in most private company jobs, you can't fire somebody for a number of like big companies unless you prove that you addressed it, you spoke to them several times. So that's what you got to get the paper trail. So that's them building up their case to send to human resources and be like, all right, well, we got to get rid of this dude because, look, I sent that email once because he messed that up, and I sent that email. You know what I mean? And that's them getting the paper trail, even about stuff that's mad regular. So, sometimes somebody's even BCC'd on it, but you don't know it because you can't see the BCC. Exactly. So it's like, oh, I BCC HR, because that's what they happen. Your boss complains, or if you're the boss of somebody, you go and complain about them, and they tell you, look, get some stuff on email, something on paper, and then, we can take action on it. But we can't until you have this, we have records of this, you know what I'm saying? So, that's definitely important. Yeah,
It's so snake out there. It's crazy.
Yeah, me personally, I feel like if you're gonna be the boss of somebody, like, and you really want them to do well, then you gotta be real with them too, and like pull them aside, like, hey, come into my office, let's talk for a little bit, and just be like, listen, like, we're gonna nip this in the butt early because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, that type of stuff we just don't do around here. So, like, you need to get X, Y, and Z, and this is non-negotiable. So we gotta get this on track, like, and I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because then after that, then I gotta call HR and we gotta get in, like, you know what I mean? Just keep it real. Dudes will be like, oh, nah, I feel you. Let them know it's serious, and people gonna take care of what they gotta take care of. The second part to that I had was when people stop asking you to do things that's your responsibility and they start doing them on their own. Like, normally, like, let's say you in charge of, like, I don't know, keeping record of all the money or whatever, right? And all of a sudden somebody comes over and says, oh, no, it's okay, I logged the money in myself. Oh, all right, yo, how did you do that? Oh, okay, cool. And people asking you how to do your own job, that's because they about to get rid of you and replace you, and they need to cover you while you gone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's slick.
That's
very true.
Yep, because people come over to you and they ask you, yo, how do you normally do it? Oh, so how did you put this together? Oh, okay, cool. Don't worry, I'll take care of this myself. And you're like, oh, all right. Yeah, you sitting there thinking like, oh, everybody's doing it for me because I'm so nice. I don't even gotta do it no more. Like, they about to
get rid of it no more.
Yeah, you're really not about to do it no more.
Yeah, so that's my two for that. That's my two for those, man. So you gotta watch out, man. 'Cause people will be slick and it's very passive aggressive. It's not like nobody's ever gonna talk to you face to face about stuff. If you do, y'all must be best friends. Yep. Like, yeah, you must be really cool with your boss for him to be able to pull you, or for her to be able to pull you to the side and be like, yo, you're fucking up. You know what I mean? Like, they're only gonna do that when they really cool with you and like y'all friends.
Yep.
And you got, and that's what I agree with. Like, they're just gonna let you hang yourself. They're not gonna help you, or they're not gonna. It's not like school where your teacher yelled at you for doing something wrong. No, they're just gonna let you just keep messing up. You keep coming in late, or you don't show up for this, or you keep calling out and stuff. They're not gonna say nothing to you.
Not at all.
They're just gonna let you play yourself.
Definitely. I ain't gonna front though. Like, a lot of times, for some, I understand why they do that, because it's like, yo, the faster we get them out, the faster we can get somebody who's good in. You know what I mean? So a part of me does, but then a part of the side is like, when you got good people who you losing because of bad stuff like that. So whatever. I'm gonna keep it moving though. A lot of folks, get into the workplace, and you always got that one person at work who's always complaining to you about the other person at work who nobody bothers, and they be like, oh, that's because he kiss ass. That's because he a kiss ass. Yeah, all this other stuff. But sometimes, there's a line between being a ass kisser versus, being somebody who's, playing chess, being smart, playing your role, plotting, being calculating. You know what I'm saying? So where's the line that you draw between kissing ass and, like, playing it smart at work? So, Shameless, yo, I'm gonna start with you, but, like, I've definitely seen that a lot, and a lot of people get accused of that, like, a little preemptively. So you go ahead with that, man.
Regardless if you're playing it smart, somebody's gonna see it as kissing ass because they're not doing their job correctly. So whenever you get the limelight where you're doing your part and nobody really sees it, but then people are congratulating you for it, and then somebody else is like, oh, hey, what do you do to deserve that? And they're gonna start calling you a kiss ass. But the line between kissing ass and playing it smart, pretty much how you kiss ass is pretty much being a go hard. You're gonna try to do everything when some of the stuff you can't do yourself, and like whatever your boss says, even though you're supposed to do that, you're supposed to do whatever your boss says, but at the same time, you gotta lay in the fact that you're still a human being and you have some kind of rights underlined over there. So when you let go of your personal rights as a human being, that's when you're kissing ass. But playing it smart is basically how I play it smart when I work. I pretty much put myself and I think of myself as being very low level. Where when you think like that, you become very humble and you do things out of respect, and you get your job done more efficiently. So even if you're like, for instance, maybe you're like a senior 2 or something, and you've been there for 2 years, but you still think of yourself as being, staff 1, and you play it smart like that, people will not come up to you and be like, well, he doesn't really do his job, or he's just kissing ass. They're just gonna be like, well, he's just a really humble person and he does his job well and he doesn't bother anybody. That's playing it smart. That's when higher ups start to realize you're like, yo, this is a good person, this is a good kid. So
yeah, when you can rise above the bullshit.
Exactly. So even if you see something that you're not supposed to see, yo, just let it slide. It has nothing to do with you. Just walk the other way. And if they come to you about it, you have no idea. Play it smart. Be like, don't involve yourself in something that's gonna get you into casualty.
Word. All the politics and stuff like that, you gotta rise above. I agree with that 100%, yo. So, definitely gonna see your feast, yo. What do you think about that whole issue right there?
Yeah, kissing ass and playing it smart, playing chess. I feel like, playing chess, you gotta stay neutral, because I've been in situations where like people will try to like draw you into controversy by like, they'll talk about other employees or talk about managers and stuff, and just listen and take it all in. Don't take a side, just be neutral. And I think like part of the kissing ass is when you do things like you kiss up to your superiors or whatever, but at the same time, you talk about other people's work to other people. So there's a lot of gossiping going on too, because the kiss ass knows everything, everyone's business, knows everything that's going on too. So I think those are those main differences. Like if you just stay neutral and you just be an observer of everything and how things work, and I think that's the best approach you can have in the workplace.
Yeah, man, I agree with you guys. I think the best thing that helped me figure out how to navigate the workplace and play chess was that book Robert Greene wrote, The 48 Laws of Power. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
It was crazy because, it's a lot of lessons in that book that talks about, like, man of the characters that he pulls from, like, history and stuff like that, like Napoleon's second in command and how he kind of was pulling the strings behind closed door, but he played it smooth, like waiting until it's your time to, like, how to challenge somebody in authority the correct way without getting like killed yourself, and making sure like you kind of manipulate. It's just learning how to manipulate people. And that's the real thing about corporate America that a lot of people don't realize. Like, yeah, you could work hard, you could do a good job, you could be the best person at what you do, and that's very important. But the politics game is also a part of like, learning how to be successful. You got to understand how to play that politics game. You got to know, how not to offend people, but at the same time, how to challenge somebody. Like what you said about not letting them, whip you around and have you like, showing them that you have no backbone. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like being a kiss ass. Like sometimes, you got to stand up and be like, listen, like, I have X, Y, and Z to do, and like me doing that, it's not realistic. Like I'm not gonna be able to do all that. And they'll respect you for that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to challenge your boss, like, respectfully disagree, but you gotta find your way to not,
offend them.
Not offend them, right. And that's I think true. That's playing. And at the same time, I think also what a lot of people don't realize is when your coworkers invite you to stuff, and like the whole office is going out to like, oh, we're all gonna go get drinks. Like mad people be annoyed, like, oh no, I'm not gonna go. If you're the person that never shows up to any of those, you start to be the outsider. You know what I mean? And people start to look at you that way. And I think that it's important that, you also spend some of that time, having a beer, not all the time, every now and then, because that's also work too, that part. Because when people feel like they really like you, then they'll be more inclined to like, move you up and stuff like that. Like nobody wants to move somebody up that they dislike.
Exactly.
No matter how good you are.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I was just that. Yeah, you just hit it right there. Like yeah. I don't care how talented you are as whatever profession you're in, but if you come off like you don't need nobody and you better than them, they'll take you down. They'll find a way to take you down. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it doesn't
Sure.
matter how good you are; it'll take you down because you need help, and you need help in this world to get to where you want to be. So I don't care.
Don't make enemies, man.
Yeah, you
But,
can't, yeah, like you can't do it all by yourself. So you might be the talented person in the room, but you got to work with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone used to talk about Kobe, he's great, but that don't help everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
No, sir. Not at all.
All right, cool. So, yo, one thing that is a little a funny topic that a lot of people say they avoid, but people, might be fronting, and I've seen a lot of dudes get caught up in situations like this: workplace romance. Workplace romance.
Oh,
What's your thoughts on workplace romance? I'm gonna go first. I don't have no stories about that. I don't got no story I'm gonna tell. I know I always have some weird story, but like I don't got no workplace romance story. But what I will say is that I've seen some things at work. Like my last job, it was a husband and a wife that worked there, and that was awkward because like you're in there and then like you're in a meeting with the dude and somebody knocks on the door like, excuse me, James, can I talk to you real quick? And it don't got nothing to do with work. And it's like, hey, I hate working with this dude, man. Every time his wife come, and she was pregnant at the time too, so it was rough. But yeah, right. I don't know what she was. She was like 7 months pregnant, still at work.
God damn.
Yeah.
damn.
And I mean, it's easy when he's gonna drive you home.
Yo,
Like
hormones all over the place.
Yeah. Like we need to go. It's time to leave as soon as it hits 5 o'clock, and you like, dang, well, I see you tomorrow, bro. But that, and then also, I've seen people, you hook up with a coworker, and then it gets ugly, and it can really make things at work very uneasy. God forbid, if somebody finds out and that stuff's frowned upon, you might lose your job because you're like, not supposed to be sleeping with people at work. Yeah, I've seen people quit jobs just because they like somebody and they wanted to start a relationship, and it was like, we can't do it here because they're gonna fire one of us if it, and they quit the job just to find a new job so they could be with that person. So it's real ugly. It makes things muddy. My personal opinion is don't shit where you eat at.
Word.
Exactly.
Yeah. How
And
I
also-
take it is my bad. You go ahead.
Oh yeah, real quick. Like another thing too that people underestimate is like office hotness. Like because you're around that person all the time and see that person all the time, a girl might be more attractive to you when you're just in the office all day compared to whether she was out in the street. Would you really want to talk to her?
Oh, yeah.
They're like in school when you sit in the same class.
People get that confused. You're like, oh man, I like her. I'm trying to get at her, but like, you just saying it. You just because it's that you got the off. I call it like the office goggles. Like people have the beer goggles. You got the office goggles when that happens. Because she's really not. You probably wouldn't be anything you'd pursue it outside the workplace. But I think it's the risk about it and all that stuff that people are into. I guess so.
Forbidden fruit, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Shameless, what about you, man? Workplace romance?
I try to avoid it as much as possible, but there are times where some things can't be helped. I'm not gonna front. In the past, it has happened to me before, but I learned from that, and now I really like. For instance, I wouldn't say that I would never ever do it again, but I'm very cautious and I know better. So as of right now, I don't do work and play. So of course you're gonna have those people like Fee said who you're gonna get attracted to because you're around them all the time. You guys become very cool and you're gonna be acquainted, and then you're gonna get to know each other. Like indiscriminately, like it's not your fault. Like you guys work together, you're in the same place all the time, so you kind of have to get to know the person and be cool with them, and then feelings will probably start to develop. But you gotta be able to control yourself. You gotta have enough will to not go that far and understand better that this is your career. You need to understand better. But if you do actually like somebody and you feel like maybe both of you could take it that far, make sure that the both of you are feeling the same way, because if the other person is not feeling the same way, it can get awkward.
Yeah.
So and even if you do happen to make it happen and you guys break it off, like Pete said, things can get really awkward, and then both of you can't even function as you usually do, and you're always in a sad mode when you see each other, and then there's always the awkward eye, and then somebody finds out, and then both of you are in the light, and then word gets around, and all of a sudden, like we were saying before, you get pulled to the side, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey,
yo.
We heard about you and Stacy.
Yeah, right? It's like, yo, Can I talk to you real quick?
Yeah, Peace, what was you about to say?
Finesse, remember Entourage where when this is I think this is like fresh when Ari's opened up his new agency or whatever, and his best friend Andrew Klein was messing with that young girl that was like her biggest prospect, and Ari had to fire her or whatever because he had to fire her because his wife wasn't comfortable with her, and also Andrew Klein was his performance at work was messed up because they hooked up, and then like she didn't want to no more, and then it was all weird and stuff like that. You remember that?
Yeah, that happened too, and it's a show now. One of the shows now, Masters of Sex. The dude, one of the doctors slept with one of the nurses, and like she had him so messed up because the show takes place in like the 60s, 70s, and she was like giving head, and I guess back then that was like, you know, so, I mean it was just crazy. It was like I've never had that done before, and like he was caught up, man, and she was like, yo, get out of here, man, I do that, like that's my thing, like.
But, like tossing salad nowadays, like.
Nah, come on.
Yo,
man.
Bill Clinton, that's with the secretary. You know what I'm saying?
Monica Lewinsky out there.
Yeah, that was crazy. You got the president caught up. So that's how you right there. You got
almost lost his job. He almost got impeached.
Shit. Marilyn Monroe and JFK, dog.
Yeah,
but he wasn't lose his job over her because his brother hit it too.
Oh yeah. I hit it first.
Yo, you remember that? You ever see that picture? You ever see that famous picture with Robbie Kennedy and JFK, and they both sitting in a room? It's a famous photograph. I think they did a double XL cover with Jay-Z and Kanye doing the same thing, man. You know what they was talking about. You know what they was talking about.
I'm pretty sure that was the reason why she killed herself.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
Yo, but seriously, man, like that's why like people get so mad when I be like, yo, why y'all always quoting Marilyn Monroe? Like
she was a whore.
I don't get that. Like, come on, man.
No, she was
the free spirit
like
of the
first
time.
She was the first, like, I think she was the first, like, chick that really became, like, super famous just, like, off being pretty. Like, and today that's common. Like, we got mad chicks that are like that. But I think back in the day that she was the first. But hold on, before we get on that tangent, one more topic before we close things out. As a matter of fact, one or two, actually. Holiday party madness, yo. Holiday parties, that's the do's and don'ts, the rules. Holiday party. I'm gonna start off. My first holiday party with my first like real like grown up job, it got crazy just because this one girl who didn't know, you know, you're not supposed to get that drunk. First, don't get wasted. Do not be that person.
Don't do it.
Don't be that person.
Don't do it. It looks tempting. Don't do it.
And I've done it multiple times. I'm speaking from experience. Do not be that dude. But anyway, at this party I wasn't. But this was like, yo, this girl, man, she was going crazy. Like, you know how when people are dancing at the holiday party and then after, you know, it gets everybody gets a little drunk, the dancing gets like how you would normally dance. This chick tried to turn it into a little pasa party and lifted her leg up and all this. I was like, yo, I walked away. I was like, nah, I'm not about to be that dude. Nah, this is my first job. Like,
no. Gonna be the rest. Yeah.
You gotta chill with that.
Yeah, what about y'all? Yo, holiday party madness, rules, you know? Because that's what most people hooking up at work, is the holiday party. You wait all year for somebody to get drunk and caught slipping.
I would definitely say, just like you, don't drink too much. But if you have a high tolerance and you can control yourself while under influence, then, you know, by all means do it, but just watch your actions. What else? It gets even, there's more gossip during that time because everybody's free-willed now. Mm-hmm. And even and watch yourself around your managers, even though they seem like they're really friendly now because they got a couple of drinks in their system. They're cool. They're giving you hugs. Yo, don't fall for that. Do not fall for that.
That don't mean you cool with them.
Exactly.
They just drunk,
right? And you never know if they're recording stuff or they're just trying to see how you would react to them. So don't do that. I'd say if it was me, I'll probably like I'd sip my stuff, but I'd be on the sideline. I'll do a little small talk, but I'll be on the side watching people get crazy. I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I echo those same things, man. Like, definitely control your drinking. Just socially drink. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember, you're not with your boys. You're with coworkers. Have a couple drinks, chill there for maybe an hour or so, socialize, get some laughs in, and get up.
Leave early.
Yeah, get up out of here, man. I usually, that's the thing with me. I'm so not fun at holiday parties, man. I go chill, hang out, and I leave before it gets even crazy. So.
Now, I think that's important too. As soon as you start feeling yourself get a little snack, you gotta go. Like, yo, I'm feeling sick, yo. I gotta get out of here. That protects you, yo. I'm not gonna lie, man. I got pretty wasted at a couple holiday parties. The worst one was I'm not gonna say when, but man, I got pretty wasted. They was giving us free alcohol.
That's how you know it was real.
Yeah, this party started at 6:37 and it went all the way to midnight. So imagine open bar for 5-6 hours straight, and everybody, it's like 300 people there. Everybody drinking. You know, people are leaving as things go on, but there's an after party to that as well that they were throwing. So I got pretty wasted, and then the open bar shut down. So I grabbed a bottle of Grey Goose and was just like, man, whatever, yo. I just took the top off of it, the part that, you know, they pour out of to make it, you know, to make shots on that at the bar. I took that, I started pouring everybody at my job drinks, and they were all like, yo, you just took that? I was like, yeah, they don't know. It's all right. So they just all took it. So I was like, all right, whatever. They all just took the liquor. And then on top, after that, I grabbed the bottle of Grey Goose and jumped on a table and started dancing with the Grey Goose bottle in my hand. And, you know, I got my blazer on, and I'm just, like, looking all corporate, but, like, the whole party's looking at me. Security had to come get me, take me, like, tell me to get down. And, yeah, that was something that, it was cool because, like, I was doing a really good job at the time, so I had a good reputation at work. It was just like, oh, he was wasted. But, you know, the jokes kept going for months.
I bet. That's another thing, too. Come correct. Dress well.
Yeah.
This is off hours, so you're not at work trying to impress anybody, but at the same time you are trying to impress somebody.
It's work, yo. It's just work. People get that confused, like, yo, when you go out, that's work. Business dinners or like dinners, team dinners, all that stuff, like, it's work because it's all your reputation, and that's all you got at work, your reputation, yo.
Exactly. Come correct, man.
Don't sleep with that random joint, man.
Nope. Nope. Because she could be the gossiper.
Monica Lewinsky. All right. Anything else, man? Any thoughts, like just overall things that we might have not got to that you want to get in there? Probation. Anything else? Bosses. Anything? You know.
Well, I think we should talk about probation. That's pretty much the most important thing when you have a job.
Yeah.
The first 90 days. The
first 90 days, and then after you review probation. So
exactly.
Cool.
So your first 90 days. Be always on your P's and Q's. Be always on your toes, man. Just do not slip up. And then after the 90 days, when you get your first evaluation, continue what you were doing on those 90 days. You could have a little relaxation now because, you know, you got past the 90 days, but you're still on the review. After that, when that year comes, and then they gotta talk to you about your what you've been doing, how they like what you've been doing, or not what they like what you've been doing, you gotta listen for real, because that next year, it's all serious now.
Yeah, they're not playing with you.
Yeah, so that's all I gotta say on that part.
All right. I'm gonna say the when you get a bad review and you get that probation period after they put you on a bad review, that's the most scariest probation you ever gonna have in your life, because that's when you start reevaluating stuff. Like, damn, they told me, you know, I'm not doing well in my review, and then I got, you know, so many days. You know, they might even make you sign some paperwork, and that's scary too, because then you're sitting in an office surrounded by a bunch of people telling you like, yo, man, you fucking up, and we making you sign this paper, so if you fuck up again, you out of here. And you basically, like, you sitting there every day coming into work, and your stomach is like sinking to the bottom of your feet.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're feeling that type of way. That's when it's scary. But you know what? You got to remember that, you know, sometimes you got to keep that out of your head, because the more you get scared about that, the more you're going to probably mess up, because you're so nervous. And that's the messed up part. Yeah, you get all nervous and you start messing up, and it's like, you out of there. And it's like, nah, but I know what I'm doing. Like, you got to really just go in there and treat it like your first 90 days all over again. Make sure you're on time. Make sure you're doing your job. Make sure that, you know, you don't give them, you know, ammunition. Because one thing my mom's always taught me was like, yo, people in America, my mom's like from there, so people in America, they forget really fast, yo. They forget. As soon as you start winning, they're gonna forget. And everything is gonna be cool again, man. They will Mike Vick you, and as soon as you start winning games, they're gonna be like, "What dogs?" You know,
right?
So, it is what it is.
Man. Yeah, man. Yeah, same thing, man. You gotta really be on point, man. It's like, cause it goes back to what we were saying earlier. They're not gonna let you know. There's no warnings. They're not gonna tell you to do this better. They're not nothing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. It's all on you. They're not gonna say nothing to you. They're just gonna. You're just gonna watch. They're just gonna watch you play yourself. That's all.
Yeah,
you know?
they're gonna play a Hawkeye and keep you at a distance and just watch.
Yep.
So, and then one day, when they got you when they need you, just gonna stab you in the back, like, hey, listen, man, you did this, that, and the third, and we don't like that. So you better get it together, or you're out of here.
Yeah, because they're not there to see you succeed. You there to see you succeed.
Exactly.
You can't remember that. People get to work and they assuming like, yo, man, like they playing me right now. Like, nah, man, it's nobody's job. Everybody at work is there because they needed a job and they needed money. Nobody is there because of you.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You gotta always don't forget that. Like, you got friends at work, but at the same time, like, it's work friends. It's not real. Like, that's all a part of the game. It's all a part of the chess game. So
it's all about perspective. Be like, yo, man, this is my career. Man, I got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how this person feels about how I'm doing my work. Like, as long as my superiors know that I'm doing a good job, like, yo, whatever, man. People will call me a kiss ass. People could think I'm too hard.
You're gonna get paid. You're gonna come up. You're gonna move up. But one thing too though is like, I want to warn everybody that like, don't be that person who despises the way that things are, because like, you could either complain about things and be like, oh, it shouldn't be like this. Yeah, like, yeah, in an ideal world, work wouldn't be like that. But like, listen, everybody's job is like that. Your job ain't no special than everybody else's. So it's up to you to figure out, yo, how I'm gonna make this work for me, how I'm gonna learn how to play the game. Because I made plenty of mistakes at work, and I felt like, oh, this is grimy, man. It's just this company is messed up, yeah. But like, nah, yo, that's how work is, and you gotta learn how to, play the game. It's a learning curve. It's a hustle. You gotta figure it out.
Right. Yep. And the thing is, if you really have a problem with their business, go create your own business. Go start your own business. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell somebody how to run their business. So.
But you know what? But then you're gonna be the dude setting up policies like, look, man, we gotta figure out how to get rid of people who messing up.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Even if you're CEO, the CFO, the SEO, whatever the other acronyms they use to be on top of there.
All right, cool, yo. This was good, yo. Definitely share your comments, your opinions, and stuff that you seen at work that was messed up. Maybe times that you was done dirty, or times that maybe you had to fire somebody. Because I've definitely been in situations where I'm talking like, man, this dude is terrible. Like, he don't never show up. So it happens. But appreciate y'all. We got more topics coming in next week. Big shout out to Zombie Life. Big shout out to Zilla and Stush, man. Definitely get fresh. We'll provide some links in the description. Check out their websites. Cop something nice for the wintertime. All right. Peace, y'all.
All right. Peace out.
Hey there.
On that beat. Oh.